Imagine pressing a button on your phone, a soft click. An image appears on your screen, and within seconds, you can share it with the entire world. But what actually happened? How does your pocket-sized device capture light, convert it into numbers, and create an image that resembles reality? The camera, a tool once reserved for scientists and artists, is now everywhere. But its principles are still just as fascinating. In today's video, you'll discover how cameras work, from the very first models to the modern digital systems we use today. And why no photograph ever truly represents reality. The very first cameras were essentially dark rooms, known as camera obscura. A small hole in the wall allowed light to enter, projecting an upside-down image of the outside world onto the opposite surface. It was a purely optical device with no way to capture the image permanently, but it laid the groundwork for everything that followed. In the 19th century, scientists discovered that certain chemicals react to light, leading to the invention of photographic plates. Light would hit a photosensitive emulsion and create a negative, which could then be developed into a positive image. Analog cameras from the 20th century worked on the same principle, but instead of a plate, they used film. Light passed through a lens which focused the rays onto the film. But first, it met a shutter that opened for a precise fraction of a second, allowing a measured amount of light to hit the film. Aperture also played a crucial role, a mechanical opening that controlled how much light entered the lens. Three core elements, shutter speed, aperture, and film sensitivity, formed the so-called exposure triangle. The photographer had to balance these parameters to avoid underexposure or overexposure. After exposure, the film went into a darkroom, where it was developed through a chemical process. The entire procedure could take minutes or hours, and each shot was final. No previews, no edits. With the advent of the digital era, everything changed. Digital cameras replaced film with sensors, tiny chips that convert light into electrical signals. There are two main types: CCD, charge-coupled device, and CMOS, complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Both work by detecting photons and releasing electrons, which are collected in photosensitive cells known as pixels. Each pixel measures light intensity but not color. To determine color, a Bayer filter is placed over the sensor, a mosaic of red, green, and blue filters. The camera software then interpolates the color data through a process called demosaiosing. This is just the first step in a complex chain of image processing that happens before the final photo appears on your screen. And this is where modern mobile photography diverges from traditional cameras. Your phone is no longer just a camera, it's a computational powerhouse. When you press the shutter, the device analyzes the scene, applies dozens of corrections, merges images, reduces noise, and even enhances certain elements. Often it doesn't just take a single photo, but a burst. The phone selects the best parts of multiple exposures, combines them, optimizes dynamic range, HDR, reduces motion blur, boosts contrast, and adjusts colors. Some smartphones even recognize objects and tweak parameters accordingly. A face is processed differently than food or a sunset. Modern phone cameras come with multiple lenses, wide-angle, telephoto, macro. Even though you see just a single image, it often results from a combination of data from multiple sensors. For example, depth of field no longer has to be physical. It can be simulated using software based on sensor differences. The final photo isn't an objective record of reality. It's the outcome of data selection and processing done by software, by artificial intelligence that learns over time. Many phones today modify scenes to make them look more beautiful, even if they never looked that way in real life. It's important to understand that no photo is the truth. Every image is shaped by the lens, light, perspective, color interpretation, and most importantly, the decisions made by the photographer or the algorithm. Even the optics themselves are compromises. Perfect lenses don't exist. There will always be some distortion, chromatic aberration, vignetting, or geometric warping. Cameras are now everywhere, in phones, laptops, cars, security systems, satellites, drones, watches, and even refrigerators. Some take photos for memories, others for marketing, and some for surveillance. While traditional DSLRs and mirrorless cameras focus on quality and control, mobile cameras prioritize speed and ease of use. And often, they take better photos than anyone would have imagined just 10 years ago. What comes next? Sensor precision will improve. AI will make more decisions for us. Quadrature color filters, multispectral imaging, and 3D depth mapping are already a reality. And with the rise of augmented reality and the metaverse, imagery will become less about capturing reality and more about creating it. So next time you press the shutter and say you took a photo, remember, you may not have captured a moment, but rather an interpretation of light calculated by a chip and processed by software. But that's what makes it beautiful. Even the simplest snapshot is the result of centuries of science, physics, mathematics, and human curiosity. You're watching Almost Fiction, the place where we break down the world as it really works. No hype, no myths, just facts and connections you were never taught in school. We've already shown you how GPS finds your location, why airplane windows are round, what happens when a bird hits a jet engine, and how your own memory functions. But we're just getting started. From Bluetooth to internet cables, from nuclear fusion to what would happen if the moon vanished, we explore the science, logic, and mind-blowing truths that shape the world around you. We don't care what people believe. We care how things actually work. We verify facts, trace the evidence, and put together a picture of reality that's often stranger and more fascinating than fiction. Because the more you understand, the less you fear. And the more you know, the more you start asking better questions. If you love stories about technology, science, and the human mind, subscribe and join others who know that reality is often the most surprising story of all.